Hey everyone, I'm Michael, and this is another episode in my series, A Plant a Week. In this series, I talk about various houseplants. I highlight one for the whole video, talking about how to properly care for it, how to water it, how to propagate it, everything that you need to know to keep your plant healthy and happy. This plant is Sansevieria Fernwood, yet another variety from the diverse pointy snake plant family. This one is a hybridization of Sansevieria parva and Sansevieria sufriticosa, and can be identified from other Sansevieria cone types by its pointy and round base that shoots up into delicate little points. It's smaller than the Sansevieria cylindrica, which typically has thicker shoots, and I think that characteristic gives the fernwood a rather dainty look that most Sansevierias lack. If you've ever kept a snake plant before, you're in luck because keeping a fernwood is the exact same. This plant is sort of succulent-like, meaning it likes well-draining soil and very little water. The soil I keep mine in is a very porous mixture with plenty of perlite and orchid bark to break up the little soil that's in there. In the winter, I water mine once to twice a month, while in the summer they get water pretty regularly on a weekly basis, unless the soil is still moist, in which case I hold off for another week. Make sure you water them thoroughly, giving them a lot of water, just in very infrequent doses. If you give them too much water, you'll notice they'll decline pretty rapidly. Their leaves will discolor and become mushy or yellow, and it'll just look overall unwell. These plants also like to be root-bound and are known to burst open pots. If you repot your Sansevieria too soon, it might take a while for it to show new growth, as it typically only starts to push out new leaves when the roots are tight and pushing up against the sides of the pot. One of the things that makes Sansevieria so great is that they can survive in a wide range of lighting. While they prefer bright light and thrive in lighter conditions, they can be placed in darker corners. They won't need as much water or grow nearly as fast, and if conditions are too dark, it will eventually decline, but its ability to grow in darker areas makes it one of the few houseplants ideal for most locations. There are two ways to propagate this Sansevieria: division and leaf propagation. As your plant grows, you'll notice new babies shooting up near the larger plants. If you want to separate those babies, put them in their own pots, you have to uproot the plant and snip the babies off where their roots connect them to the mother plant. Then you can pot it up separately and start a new little Sansevieria plant. You can also cut off leaves and place them in water to root that way. I have tried this method a couple times in the past and it has never worked out for me, so I would say stick to propagating by division rather than leaf cutting. I have heard that these ones do propagate quite slowly in water, so keep that in mind if you're going to try that method. Despite how easy it is to grow, Sansevierias are toxic to humans and animals. It might cause nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea if ingested. As far as pests go, they're pretty resilient to most houseplant pests. However, I just dealt with a pretty bad case of spider mites on one of mine last year. To treat it, all I ended up doing was repotting the plant, putting it in new soil, and giving it a few washes with insecticidal soap. You can also combat them organically with a mixture of water, vinegar, and dish soap. If you've watched any of my previous videos, you'll know that Sansevierias are definitely a favorite of mine. I have so many varieties. The Fernwood is a really unique variety of Sansevieria, and in all of my collection, it is by far the daintiest and frailest looking Sansevieria. Its delicate look makes it stand out from the others, which typically have thicker leaves and have a very chunky architectural look to them. And though I don't love this plant as much as my big whale fins, I mean, let's be honest, I don't love any plant as much as I love my big whale fins, the Fernwood is definitely a close second. I just love how different it looks from other Sansevierias. It's so small, it's so little, and it's so delicate. It's a pretty snake plant, okay? Thanks again for watching. Remember to like and subscribe for similar content. On Mondays, I post videos about houseplants. And on Fridays, I also post videos about houseplants, and reading, writing, photography, art, and any other generic interests of mine. As always, you can find my social media links in the description below. Also, you can find links to H&H Games, the board game company I've helped create, and our debut board game, Season of Heroes. You can also find the Amazon links to my fantasy series, A Chronicle of Crowns. Thanks for watching, bye!